Guys, have you ever noticed how one small detail can completely change the way we see a game? That's exactly what happened with Vinícius Jr. this weekend. The Real Madrid star, usually untouchable, was suddenly substituted by Xabi Alonso in the middle of a really tough match. And his reaction? Oh, that caught everyone's attention. We're talking about gestures, body language, a message that was impossible to ignore. And then Thierry Henry stepped in. Not just anyone, Henry, a legend who knows better than anyone what it means to be under the spotlight. And what he said about Vinny's reaction divided opinions. Was it disrespect? Or was it just pure competitiveness? Well, stick around, because we're breaking it all down. And hey, before we dive in, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. When Real Madrid stepped onto the pitch against Real Sociedad, it already felt like one of those nights where nothing was going to come easy. The match was tense from the first whistle, and things got even more complicated when Huijsen saw a red card, leaving Madrid with just 10 men. From that moment on, every single move by Xabi Alonso had to be calculated. And then came the decision, the one nobody saw coming. At the 68th minute, with the game still in the balance, Alonso looked to the bench and pulled Vinícius Jr. out of the match to bring on Fran Garcia. Now, on paper, that's a tactical change. A coach adjusting the team shape, looking for balance after going down a man. Pretty normal, right? But here's the thing. When it comes to Vinícius Jr., nothing is ever just normal. For years, Vinny has been that untouchable figure at Real Madrid, the guy who only comes off if he's injured or if he asks to be subbed. Under Carlo Ancelotti, the idea of taking Vinny off was unthinkable. But Xabi Alonso? He's rewriting the rules. And the Spanish press didn't hold back. Marca put it bluntly. One of the clearest changes Alonso has made is that Vinícius Jr. is no longer untouchable. The only star in Alonso's eyes is Mbappé. And that's where the whole dynamic shifts. Because when Kylian Mbappé arrived, he didn't just bring world-class talent, he brought status. From day one, he had Alonso's full backing. He became the reference point, the player who doesn't get questioned. For Vinícius, who has carried Real Madrid on his shoulders for the past few seasons, that's a shock to the system. It's not just about being subbed off. It's about what that substitution means. But beyond the tactical board, beyond the manager's decision, what really made headlines was Vinícius's reaction. He didn't explode, he didn't throw a tantrum, but the frustration was written all over his face. His body language, the subtle gestures, the look in his eyes, everything screamed, "I'm not okay with this." And of course, when a player of his caliber shows that kind of discontent, it becomes the talking point of the night. Enter Thierry Henry. Now, when Henry speaks, people listen. This isn't just any pundit giving his take from the studio. This is a World Cup winner, a Champions League winner, a player who lived through the pressure of being the star, of carrying expectations, of knowing exactly how every gesture can be magnified by the media. And Henry's analysis? Balanced, sharp, and straight to the point. He started with a warning. I don't think that reaction is great, because the media can easily frame it as disrespect to the coach. He knows how dangerous the narrative can get, how quickly a moment of frustration can be spun into a headline about ego or conflict. And he's right. With a player like Vinícius, every move is under a microscope. But Henry didn't stop there, because he also saw something positive in it. At the same time, he said, I actually like when players hate being subbed. It shows they're not satisfied with themselves, and knowing Vinícius, he'll bounce back. That's the nuance. Henry wasn't condemning Vinny. He was recognizing the competitor inside him. Because, let's face it, you don't want your star forward walking off the pitch smiling and happy after being subbed out of a tough game. You want the guy who feels he could have done more, who's frustrated because he knows he still had something to give. And in that moment, Henry flipped the whole narrative. What looked like a problem, he reframed as fuel. And when it comes from Henry, a man who built his career on overcoming challenges, on embracing the spotlight, it carries extra weight. It's not just analysis, it's almost a prediction of what's coming next for Vinícius Jr. And just when you thought that was enough, Henry pushed the conversation even further, looking beyond the substitution and straight into the future of Real Madrid's attack. So, if Henry's take on Vinícius's reaction gave us plenty to talk about, what came next was even bigger. Because he didn't just stop at the substitution drama, he looked ahead. And his message was crystal clear. The future of Real Madrid rests on the chemistry between Vinícius Jr. and Kylian Mbappé. Think about it. Henry knows a thing or two about striking partnerships. He played alongside some of the greatest, from Trezeguet with France to Bergkamp at Arsenal. He understands how two world-class forwards can completely transform a team. And when he looked at Madrid's new attacking duo, his prediction carried the weight of experience. I completely believe that this season Vinícius Jr. and Mbappé will evolve as a duo, he said. It was a simple sentence, but full of meaning. Because, let's be honest, so far, Madrid fans have been watching a work in progress. Mbappé has hit the ground running, delivering goals, assists, MVP performances almost every match. He's looked like he's been at the club for years. Meanwhile, Vini has been adjusting, searching for rhythm, trying to redefine his role in a team that suddenly has another superstar. It's not easy. For years, he was the guy, the focal point. Now, he has to share that spotlight. And Henry sees the bigger picture. He pointed out that, in recent matches, there are signs, small ones but important, that the connection is starting to grow. You can already feel they're looking for each other more on the pitch, he said. And that's the kind of detail that changes everything. Because once two players of this caliber start reading each other's movements, defenses are in trouble. Imagine it. Vinícius with his explosive dribbling, that ability to break lines in a blink, paired with Mbappé's deadly finishing and pace. It's like combining two cheat codes in the same attack. You can stop one, maybe, on a good day. But both, working in sync? That's a nightmare scenario for any defender in Europe. Henry didn't sugarcoat it either. He delivered it almost as a warning. When this clicks, Real Madrid will be very, very difficult to beat. That's not hype. It's insight from someone who's been there, who knows exactly what it feels like to be on the other side of a partnership that's firing on all cylinders. So, in the end, that substitution wasn't just about tactics, it was a snapshot of something bigger. Vinícius Jr. isn't just fighting for minutes, he's fighting to evolve, to prove once again that he belongs at the very top, right next to Mbappé. And if Henry's right, that fire, that frustration, could be exactly what takes him and Real Madrid to another level. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Vinícius Jr. will bounce back and form that unstoppable duo with Mbappé this season? Or is this the beginning of a tougher chapter for him at Madrid? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading everything. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. We've got plenty more coming your way. See you next time, guys, and get ready. Because if Vini and Mbappé click, Europe better watch out.